Om Shanti, everyone. Good evening from Anubhuti this time. So I hope that you're hearing me just fine. And today we will look at the Murli of the 8th of December, today's Murli. And today I had done the text Murli Notes. So what I would like to do this evening is to go through that, that text and also comment on that text. And I think that will bring us through to the end of our hour together. Let me just go right into it. So this is Murli Notes of December 8th. At these valuable moments of this confluence age, remember Baba with each breath. Do not waste your time or breath. So this is valuable period of time. The confluence age. So Baba wants us to make full use of this time. They say that human life is sacred, and Baba has told you, and you have understood, that this is your last birth as an ordinary mortal. So at the moment, we are regular ordinary mortals. Mortals means people who are subject to death, whereas the deities are called the immortals, which means that death cannot come and take them, but they will leave the body when they feel that that's the right moment, and they will just sit and go. So we are preparing ourselves, practicing to leave the body and develop that sanskar. And then that way we become immortals. Many other things are involved as well, but that's a very important one. So Baba has told you, and you have understood, that this is your last birth as an ordinary mortal. And this last birth in the confluence age is the most valuable. No one can calculate its value. Why is your life so valuable? Because we are acquiring all the power, and we are learning how to do the karma that enables us to get the consequences of the purest possible karma, which persists for 21 births. And in fact, more than 21 births, it impacts all of our births. So this is the most important birth. But the importance of it is easily forgotten, because people are looking for feedback. And Baba says, you won't necessarily get the kind of feedback you might be looking for, but you have to understand and know that this is the most valuable birth. You become unimaginably wealthy, perfectly healthy, very good relationships for the rest of the cycle. So this time is most valuable. You are in the process of transforming from worthless, insolvent beggars into the wealthiest. This human body of yours is most valuable because it is in this life that you have become the children of the Father. All souls are, of course, his children, but when you recognize him and become his children as a Brahma Kumar and Brahma Kumari through the medium of Brahma, then you become a Brahmin, and you are studying directly with God, and you are claiming the inheritance. The other people, they're not claiming the inheritance. And therefore, the other people are not as valuable as you. So, do you feel? Can you sense how valuable you are, how valuable your life is. So he says, do not waste your time or breath. Wasting your breath means talking about stuff that you can't do anything about anyway, or talking about stuff which is not relevant to anything. And so use your time. Your breath is also symbolic of your life. So use every aspect of your life to move yourself forward in the way that Baba is helping us to do and instructing us to do. So Baba is explaining how to profit in this life. So we profit by everything that we're doing. Service, there's so many, many different kinds of service. Any kind of service that we do gives us energy of pure karma. And the purest karma of all is to sit with Baba in meditation and take that energy into the self. This is the pure karma. And it also amplifies the atmosphere and vibration of the place where you are meditating. Remain in communion with the Father with each breath. So communion is another word for yoga. You're connected with Baba, you're communing with Baba, churning knowledge, thinking about who you are, and seeing yourself and what's going on through the lens of Gyan. So Baba says, you do not remember other gods or gurus. Of course, most of the people who come into Gyan come with a Hindu background, which means that they remember lots of different deities. Every family has their own family deity, like you have your family doctor, and you have your preferred deity, and people who want money, they worship Lakshmi. People who want a good intellect, they worship Saraswati. And then lots and lots of people worship Hanuman and Ganesh, who are not direct memorials of the great deities of the Golden Age. But so Baba says, don't remember any of them because they are human beings, and because they're in a completely declined state at the moment. And don't remember gurus because they will not take you to liberation or salvation or anywhere. Then Baba says, you do not perform any rituals. Sometimes people say, oh yes, you do. You offer bhog. And it's true, we do offer bhog, and there are many things that we do which people could say, okay, that's a ritual, but the kind of rituals that Baba's talking about is like very physical things which are supposed to represent your meditation. So offering bhog is to create a very beautiful environment where people are together, they made food together, they offer bhog together, they eat the sacred food together, and it is a system rather than a ritual, a system that has been created so that at least once a week, everyone who comes to Baba's house gets to eat of the food that is prepared in Baba's house. And so generally it's Thursdays, and many centers have bhog on Sundays as well, because some people, they can only come Sundays. But we don't do things like turn the beads of a rosary. We don't pour liquids over Shivlingams or any of these type of very physical representations of what we actually do in meditation. So this is why he says you do not perform any physical rituals, and you do not remember any other gods and gurus. So our yoga is just with Shiv Baba, and we know Shiv Baba through the medium of Brahma Baba, and Shiv Baba talks to us through the medium of Brahma Baba. So Brahma is important because otherwise people would not understand that Shiv Baba takes birth, and that is, he takes over the body of Brahma Baba, and he speaks to us, he gives drishti to us. And in the days when Baba was coming through Dadi Gulzar, then you could also understand you are meeting Avyakta Bab Dada through the trance medium of Dadi Gulzar. And now none of this is taking place, but what we have is the physical Murli, which is what he came to speak to us. And so our study is really the foundation of our meditation. Baba says the dharma of the self is to be still and silent. So you start off as you are, still and silent, and from there come into action through the body, play your role through the body. And that is, we know that we come from silence into sound. We come from the world of the soul world, Paramdham. And that's not something that you have to specifically experience, because anyway, experiences are rather physical, but this is called gyan, knowledge. And that means something you understand, something you know through understanding. And you don't have to experience something to know whether or not it's real or true. You have to understand it. So this is the difference. No others would say that they come from the world of stillness. They think they come from such and such a country. So that's body consciousness. Soul consciousness is, I'm a soul, I come from the soul world. Here I am somewhere, and I'm in this body, and I'm performing my role here through this body. Of course, physically, everyone comes from somewhere or another, but behind that, I, the soul, come from the world of light into the material world to play my role. So we have a role, it's fixed, it's predestined. So we have to really think about that everything that's going on is predestined. Why he tells us it's predestined, it's even in the Gita, whatever is happening is what is destined to happen. And I think one of the most useful aspects of this knowledge of predestination is that you can accept it, because you know deep, deep, deep that that's the way it is. It can't be any other way. No use trying to fight it. Most people fight what's going on and they want something else to be going on, but this is what's happening. So Baba says, this is now your last body in the world of death. So don't waste your time. This is the only time that we get in which we're able to actually take power from God, learn whatever it is that he knows so that we then know it also. And with that knowledge, create our fortune through pure karma and through yoga. Baba says some devotees and some political activists fast until death. So at the time when Baba was coming and giving this knowledge, was also the time when Gandhi was doing his work. And a lot of the political activists in the freedom movement would engage in fasting until death in order to force the government to listen to what they were asking for, their rights. And Baba is saying that you should tell them that it's actually more effective to remain in the remembrance of the highest Father than to commit suicide in this way. So if you fast until death, that's called suicide. And Baba says, anyway, the soul cannot be killed because it is immortal. And besides, people know that suicide is a great sin. So Baba's pointing up that this is rather illogical. On the one hand, these are religious people, and they are doing an act of religious custom to fast until death in order to gain freedom. But Baba says, well, that's a great sin. So you shouldn't be doing that as a religious person. That's illogical to do a sin in the name of doing the right action. To harm your body in this way is also a great sin. So there are different kinds of religious practices where they do harm the body, and sometimes they harm the body extremely. And this happens in all the religions where they do different kinds of rituals to like overcome pain and overcome different limitations, and they torture the self. And so Baba says, no, this is not the way. This is not going to bring you closer to God. No. So it's also a great sin. At this time, you can become greatly pure, a greatly pure soul through this spiritual effort of remembrance. The people of the world are unaware that the Father has come. This is Bab Dada, Shiva and Brahma, who's talking to us. So rather than fast until death, the political activists and the devotees could attain true freedom by the practice of focusing their minds on the mind of God. So this is the meaning of Manmana Bhav. Focus your mind on the mind of God. That means focus your attention on what Baba has within his soul, his mind, which is the knowledge. And if you really focus yourself on God, on what he says, and understand it the way he intends it to be understood, you become free. There is no need for you to relate to God in the way that a religious person relates to God. You know, religious people are always thinking about how much they're sinful souls and, oh God, have mercy on me and do something about it, and I'm so bad and all that. So Baba says, no, that all that is over. That's no longer relevant. Now you've been born as a Brahmin, and so take power from Baba and allow yourself to get healed and transformed and filled with all Baba's qualities. And whatever is your situation or condition, or however spiritually weak you became or corrupted you became, whatever, this is normal for an 84 birth soul. Everybody gets in that situation. That's totally normal. If it wasn't like that, what's the point of God coming? He comes especially to take those who got to the depth of hell and bring them into the perfect, balanced, restored state for coming to the world of heaven. So that's all we have to do, is just sit with Baba and let him heal us, purify us and everything. We don't have to do anything except take power from God, and keep soul conscious. And then all the things that are going on around us, that's predestined drama. So it is what it is. You remember this statement from Daddy Yankee, it's not good, it's not bad, it just is. Let it be. Baba says the world is in transition and the Great World War will start soon. We don't know how soon, but, you know, there's a fair amount of preparation for that. So it will happen suddenly. So soon, therefore, it will start soon. Therefore, do not waste a single breath. When war is happening, you can't do this practice. It's too crazy and too extreme. So while you still can, just sit with Baba, take the power, take the healing, take the restoring, all the qualities, just allow them to soak in. That's all we have to do. During the entire Kalpa, you have been declining and you became Tamil Pradhan. That's everyone, all the deities. He's talking to deity souls, right? So every deity became Tamil Pradhan. Tamil Pradhan means old. The soul got old. It got a little weak. It got damaged and corrupted and generally messed up. This is absolutely normal. And when you come to Baba, all that gets reversed and you become, once again, you are restored to your original condition. And we cannot do this. No use trying to do it. And that's not what he's telling us. But what we have to do is let him do it to us. Let him do it for us and not get in the way or not stop him from doing it. And so just be open, focus the mind on Baba and allow any kind of impurities to just percolate out and go away. There's nothing wrong with that. This is a purification process and a restoration process, and he knows what he's doing. So that's all we have to do, is allow him to do it. Now is the time to make the effort. This word effort makes you think that you have to do something, but it's an English translation of the Hindi word, and the Hindi word is purusharat. And purusharat means whatever you do is for the sake of yourself. That's what it means. It doesn't actually mean effort. There's no effort involved. You just be open to Baba. That is purusharat. Because when you're open to Baba, you're not stopping him from filling you. You're not stopping him from restoring you and bringing you back to your original condition. He's the creator. We're not the creators. He's doing it. This is your last birth in the world of death. So obviously in the world of death, people die. That's normal. And they kill each other. That's the world of death. But we're in the world of death, but we're learning about becoming immortal. So we have to be, we have to accept that it is the world of death. And people are afraid of death. They panic about death. Well, they don't want to hear about it, but the soul is beyond death. This is what he's telling us. You have freedom in life in the world of immortality. And in the world of death, you have a life of bondage. Bondage means the bondage of past karma. And so we are experiencing settlement of karma through one means or another, no doubt. And Baba is giving us the power to manage it, the clarity to let it be whatever it is and get through it. We don't have to worry about any of it. mental, physical, social, financial, whatever it is. Just we have to be willing to go through it and get back to our original condition. So there are myths that refer to this. So Baba talks in this Murli about a few stories and what they mean. So one of them is the story about how King Janak achieved liberation in life in a second. How did he get it? Someone told him, okay, all you have to do is understand that you're a soul and be with God and do what he tells you. And just give everything over to Baba. And that's how he got liberation in life in a second, because he got it. He understood, oh, that's all I have to do. The Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, is giving you this information through the body of Prajapita Brahma. So this is extraordinary, you know. Prajapita Brahma, the soul of Krishna, the soul of Narayan, after 84 births, becomes an ordinary man, just like we used to be something amazing and we became just ordinary people. And then Shiv Baba takes this ordinary body and talks to us ordinary looking people who are former deities. And he explains to us what nobody knows. So this is referred to in the legends as the knowledge of Brahma. So the knowledge of Brahma doesn't come from Brahma, but it comes through Brahma. So he must have received this knowledge from someone. So Shiva is the ocean of knowledge, and he comes and he gives that knowledge through the medium of Brahma. And this is why it's called the Brahma Gyan, or knowledge of Brahma. And this is illustrated in the picture of the trimurti. So you can remember the picture of the trimurti for a moment. You have Brahma, and there's a lot of symbolism in that. He's dressed in white, which means like student clothes, white. And he's sitting simply in not a full lotus pose like Shankar, but a half lotus pose, sitting cross-legged on the floor, which means simple life and the life of study and simplicity and purity. The white means purity also. And so Shiv Baba is on the top of the trimurti, and then through Brahma, he gives the knowledge, and through Shankar, destruction. Destruction means not nuclear war and so on initially, but the main thing about destruction through Shankar is in the full lotus pose, naked. That means you must practice to be bodiless and in a high stage of consciousness, focused on God, and then all of your negativity will erupt. And allow that to pass out of your system. That is called purification. And it doesn't always feel very nice. So whenever you get, taken over by all sorts of bad feelings, just understand that this is all the poison getting pulled out of your system, and that's exactly what you want, because you don't want to keep it inside. Why would you do that? So just give it permission to come out, pass out, and go away. Just as it's normal for a human body, there is excretion, right? You go to the bathroom every day, because if you don't, your body will get poisoned. And so that's just the normal process for the body and, at this time, the soul. So Brahma is the father of the Brahmins. That means all the Brahmins in India and the Brahmin caste, they know that they're supposed to be the children of Brahma, but they don't know how they could be the children of Brahma. Whereas us, we are Brahma Kumars and Kumaris because we recognize Baba through the knowledge that he gave through Brahma. And we said, yes, this is right. And we recognized him, we recognized the knowledge, we recognized the Brahmin family, and we became Brahma Kumars and Kumaris, started to live the life of Purusharat, doing whatever is good for the self, and tapasya. Tapasya means the practice of meditation. And so Brahma is the father of the Brahmins, the Brahma Kumaris and the Kumars, and Brahma is the son of Shiva. So this is the original family. And this is the original place of study. So this is really incredible. Here we are, these former deities, listening directly to God through the medium of Brahma, who used to be Narayan 84 births ago. And we're studying in the first place of study with the original family. Now, Shiv Baba is called the giver of salvation, or Sadgati. So Sadgati is always translated as salvation, but if you look at the meaning of salvation, it's different for different religions. So it all depends on what your belief system is. But when Baba says Sadgati, he means very specifically that he brings you to the right place. Sad is correct and Gati is destination. So the right destination, where's the right place for us? Golden Age. But we go via the soul world. So Gati is also an interim destination. We go to the soul world and then we come down to the Golden Age, which is called Sadgati, and it is the Golden Age kingdom. So he is the one father of all, and he is establishing this civilization. So what we're doing in the confluence age, we're getting purified, we're getting restored to our original condition, we're doing service, we are getting to know each other because we all used to live together in that civilization for 21 births. And that is getting established by all the different things that we're doing with Baba. And it also means that the world of violence and cruelty is getting destroyed. And so what we have to come to terms with is that the world of violence and cruelty has to reach a maximum level of violence and cruelty before it can burn itself up. And so when we are aware of these extremes, or we have to pass through that, or we have passed through it, but it is because it's that time, not for anything else. And why did we have to pass through all this world of corruption and cruelty and harassment and all of this? Is so that we can understand that really it is hell and let it go. Why do we need to hold on to it? He says, no, it's no use. Let it go. The expression rise and fall refers to India. They talk about the rise and fall of different civilizations, but here the Kalpa, the 5,000-year-old Kalpa, is talking about the rise of India in the Golden Age and then the gradual decline all the way to extreme hell. So the rise is the civilization of the Golden Age of deities, which is heaven, and then the fall is India of today, which has become the Iron Age of extreme corruption and violence, hell. So India goes from the extreme highest heaven to the lowest of the low, hell. So the other parts of the world don't go to the extreme heights or the extreme depths of hell that India goes to. So people who are intelligent and educated will understand that there was at one time the ancient civilization of the deities, the Adi Sanatan Devi Devta Dharma, the ancient original way of being of those who are givers. A deity means a giver. So you have all this love and power and everything, and you spread it. That's a deity. So now the world is in transition, and it is getting restored to the original perfect civilization. And you are part of that. You are doing this work with God and under his directions and participating with him. So therefore, this last life of yours is the most valuable and the most important, because you are now claiming your inheritance from the Father. So what's the inheritance? It's the knowledge. And the knowledge enables you to claim the power. And the power enables you to perform pure karma in adverse circumstances. And this is called claiming the kingdom. So those souls who ruled that ancient kingdom are now claiming it once again. So that's us. If someone comes, they come to the center, they meet you somewhere, they come, but they don't recognize, they don't take up the gyan, they don't take up all the practices, it means they're not claiming the inheritance. And that means that they are not souls with 84 births. You can't make somebody into a soul with 84 births if they didn't take 84 births. That's ridiculous. But we are here to find those who do take 84 births, and they will pick this up really well and really quickly. But you still have to go through hell to get past all your karmic accounts. So that's par for the course. Hope you don't mind. Is it all right? Need a sense of humor for this. So those souls who don't have 84 births, they will not come into the dynasty of the sun, but they will come later. So all the souls sooner or later have to come down onto the earth. But when do you arrive first? That depends on who you are. So if you're an 84 birth soul, you arrive at the beginning, and by the time you get to the end, you know, you're shot to pieces. So this is normal. It's a long journey. So as time goes by, progressively weaker souls will come here. So first, the really powerful soul comes, and then slowly, slowly, weaker souls will come. And those with the greatest fortune will come accurately into the new world. So this word accurately is quite interesting. Baba's big secret that he's talking to us about today is that everything is predestined, is fixed. So you are someone who is called the soul with the greatest fortune. And that means that you will come at a very precise and fixed moment in the beginning of the golden age, in the family and condition and circumstance that corresponds to who you are. And so that's called accurate. So right now, because we haven't yet become perfect, right? We haven't reached that stage, so we still don't know exactly who we are, but we have a pretty good idea as time goes by. But when things go wrong, it doesn't prove that you're not really that. When things go wrong, it means you're settling karma, and you just get through it, and then it's okay, right? This is not easy Raj Yoga. It's difficult Raj Yoga, but it's simple, not easy, simple. You are encouraged to come into the new world, onto the earth, when the world is brand new, not a few years later. That means to say, do meditation, do study, do everything. And if you do everything, you will come right at the beginning, not later. People who are lazy, they don't do it and they come later. So no need to be lazy. Mama and Baba, that is Brahma and Saraswati, will become the empress and emperor of the new world. So they're fixed. Baba said, these two will become those two, and you will become similar to them. So have you accepted that? Sometimes you doubt yourself because this happens and that happens, and you have this way's thought and that way's thought and so on and so forth. Don't worry about it because it's just settling karma, and just let it go. So serve like them and claim a similar position. What did they do? They churn the knowledge, they tell it to other people, and they handle all the wonderful drama of the BK family, which is quite wonderful, right? Yes. Baba says, today I am telling you very deep matters. So what is a deep matter? Once you have recognized the Father, so everybody has recognized the Father, yes? You recognize the Father, then you get the right to liberation in life. This is the secret. You recognize Baba, it gives you the right to Jivan Mukti. And then you have the right, and then you start using the knowledge, the yoga, the developing the virtues and doing service and all this that creates your status in the golden age. The knowledge cannot be destroyed. Once you recognize Baba, you can't unrecognize him. You can forget him, but you can't unrecognize him. And you can't not be a soul anymore. Once you know you're a soul, that's it. You're a soul, whether you like it or not, because it's too late once you know. So the knowledge cannot be destroyed. Some understand this well, and others not at all. So how do you increase your understanding is mostly by sitting with the knowledge and churning it. Because when you churn it, it gradually becomes clear. You get insights, you get, the light goes on. You say, oh yeah, got it. So other people who come around to the exhibitions or they visit the center or go to a program, they take a look and they go away. That means, okay, they're not from the golden age. Also, Maya distracts them. So Maya is the distractor. This capacity of Maya to distract those who are initially attracted is referred to in the story of Gulbakavali. Gulbakavali. Now, this is a story of a woman who was very beautiful and lots of guys wanted to get married with her. So she said, okay, if you want to get married with me, you have to win at gambling with me. And so they would come, and she had this little tent where she was, and then she had a cat with her. And the cat would blow out the candle, and then she would cheat so that she would always win. And then the guys would not only not get married to her, but if they lost, they would have to die. So she wasn't very nice. But anyway, that's the story. And so one guy figured out that there was some secret in this. So he brought a mouse. And so the cat was busy with the mouse and so didn't blow out the candle. So he won her. But Baba says the real meaning of the story is that Maya will get you distracted from the real prize, the light of knowledge. You get distracted by a mouse. So this means that you get a glimpse of the light of spiritual attainment, but you get distracted by the attractions of the world. So men get distracted by money, women's bodies, food, temporary political power, fame, entertainment, etc. And then women get also distracted by different things. So these stories refer to you at the confluence age. Maya will come along and distract you. So the Father explains that you have come here to conquer the distractions of Maya. And in this way, you will gain mastery over the world. All you have to do is not get distracted by the distractions. Even if you have a waste thought, that's just a distraction, nothing else. So if a waste thought comes, you say, oh, go away. You're just a distraction. I'm busy. See you later. So you hold yourself in the power of yoga and remain independent of the distractions of Maya. But Maya is always circling around you. Is that right? Always circling around you. Maya is always circling around you. And stories like Aladdin are all about the power of Maya to distract you from the way of the spirit and entice you with the pleasures of wealth, sensual pleasures, and temporary political power and influence. Yeah. The story of Hatamtai. Hatamtai is a story about a daughter-in-law who was told to keep a bead in her mouth because she was always having a fighting with her mother-in-law. And so what that means is that whatever is going on that you feel urged to comment on, because there's all sorts of things that you could feel urged to comment on, it is better to keep quiet, because all these apparently negative incidents are predestined. So they're going to happen anyway, whether you comment or not. There's nothing you can do about them. They're predestined. And also, they're not going to actually succeed in interfering with Baba's plan, no matter how bad they are. So, you know, he just takes it all in his stride, and so you can also. Baba's not bothered about BKs or whether they're good, bad, or indifferent. He says, I give you a chance to make your fortune, and but my work will be successful whether you do well or not well. But your status depends on what you do, so it's up to you, right? Or not? It is, yeah. On the path of bhakti, they create many pantomimes and moral stories based on the past. But people do not understand that this is a vast, unlimited drama, which is eternally predestined and imperishable. All of it. All the details, the distractions, the Maya, the opportunities, the magic, everything is all predestined. But people are unaware of its duration. They say that history repeats, but they do not understand what that implies. That means we go through everything identically every time, and it just keeps going around. Again, Baba says, Baba is telling you deep secrets so that you can grasp that this is indeed your last and most valuable birth in which you evolve and transform. You rise from the lowest condition to the highest and the purest. And for all the rest of time, from the golden age through until now, you are in a state of accelerating decline. So if you hit bottom, that's normal. You've been accelerating in decline. But now the only way is up. so it's fine. But don't waste any time. Do your work with your hands and keep the heart with the beloved. It is the soul who gets distressed or disturbed when someone harms you. Your body will get damaged, but your soul gets distressed. So you can understand and judge this with your intelligence. Someone is doing good for you, someone else is harming you. So the soul is all the time getting impacted by people's behaviors. The soul communicates what's happening to it through the body. So if someone hurts your feelings, you will let them know through the body, or you will hold it in, whatever. But so the soul learns skills and knowledge. Sanskaras are filled into the soul. Sanskaras are the different habits, your skills, what you're good at, your weaknesses, all this stuff is sanskaras. At this time, the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul is teaching you souls. And you know the Father is the ocean of knowledge and the purifier. So he's giving us knowledge and extracting all of our poison. That's okay, right? He is bringing the gift of heaven to Bharat, to India, which is what is meant by his title of the bestower of Sadgati. Sadgati, he takes you to the right destination, which is heaven in the land of India, which has been completely fixed up, purified, rejuvenated, and it's unrecognizable. Yeah. So the term salvation is interpreted by different people according to their religious beliefs. But what he means by Sadgati is, I take you to the right destination, which is the golden age. He incarnates in Bharat, and the temple of Somnath, which means the Lord of the Nectar of knowledge, is the ancient Shiva temple in Gujarat. So this is supposed to be the first temple ever built, Somnath. So the first thing God does when he comes is he opens his mouth and starts speaking, except it's somebody else's mouth, but he speaks. You know, in Christianity, they say, let there be light. So light means what? Information, knowledge. So, but he talks and talks and talks a great deal. So this ancient temple of Shiva, Somnath, commemorates the fact that he actually incarnated. He came, took birth on the earth, but when he came and what he accomplished before he left is unknown to people. So they don't know that God comes, does something, and goes. They want him to come, but if you come, then you have to do something, and then you also have to go. So that's the meaning of coming. So Lakshmi and Narayan lived. They're historical people, but no one knows that they reincarnated, took 84 births, and are now present in the impure world. Now they have the form of Brahma and Saraswati. Now they were Satopradhan, and they reincarnated, passing through the cycle of decline, and they became Tamopradhan. And every time they reincarnated, they got a different name and a different face. They get different features with each birth in this predestined drama. So your 84 bodies are fixed. How they look, what gender they are, in which order they come is fixed. It's a deep secret. Each element of the drama repeats identically, and there can be no change. So a lot of people say, oh, I don't want that repetition of that, whatever that was, right? Baba says, it's okay, nothing wrong. Even if you have to go through, you can't get to heaven without going through hell, right? That's not possible. So if you're going through hell, keep going because you're on the right path. So the Father feels compassion for those children who do not know who their Father is. Everyone will eventually come and realize who and what this is. So it's pretty amazing, isn't it? So those were the Murli notes for today. And one interesting thing is that when Baba is speaking the Murli, if you analyze the Murli, you will see that usually he says everything in the first page. It's a 3-page Murli, but in the first page he says everything, and in the other 2 pages he says it again and then again, because he knows that people are not really paying attention. And you have to be really very focused to catch what he's saying. And studying the Murli means going over it, looking at it deeply, and then you churn it. And by churning it, you arrive at him, because you're churning what comes from his mind, and it takes you to his mind. That means yoga is definitely something that comes from Gyan. And so in our study, it is 4 subjects: first Gyan, then yoga, then dharana. You absorb everything, you recognize, you realize, you get it, and then service comes automatically. So anything that you do, having really understood this and taken power, will take the form of pure karma. And of course, there's all sorts of Maya circling around, not to worry, it's the way it is. And you get a lot of points for recognizing it, because it comes in such a way that you can't recognize it. You think it's real, but it's just there to distract you from your focus. And that's what it's about. So we have an hour together, and we've completed our hour together. So I don't know if anybody has said anything in the chat. I don't have anything in the chat, which means you didn't write anything in the chat, which means you don't have any questions.
Oh, Sister Denise, there is a question. Sometimes the bad actions, thoughts that this one has performed haunts me. How to deal with it?
That means you feel guilty, I suppose. I did this, I thought that, I am bad me, bad me, bad me. Baba says, it's fixed in drama that you did that thing or thought that thing or said that thing. And why are you bothered about it? Let it go, because it doesn't matter. If you're religious, you think it matters. But once you realize that after religion comes Gyan, it means that you don't have to feel guilty about what you did, at least not more than 1 second. That is quite long enough, because the guilty feeling is, oops, I didn't not supposed to think like that or speak like that. And so Baba says, okay, then don't. So just stop. But if it haunts you, it means you're going over it and over it and over it, and actually you're redoing it. So you don't really need to. So it's very, very good when you think so highly of yourself that even if you make a mistake, you say, okay, well, it was fixed in drama that I should make this mistake, and there is some benefit in it. What did you learn? What did you understand? What did you grasp from it? And once you've understood the benefit, then let go of it. But no need to be haunted by it. One thing that is quite important to realize is that it's a choice to feel bad about what you did. It's not an obligation. If you're religious minded, you will believe that you should feel bad about yourself, because that's what religious minded people think makes it go away. But it doesn't make it go away. It makes it increase and intensify. So Baba says that's not logical. Don't do that. This is not religion. This is Gyan. And the purpose of religion is to find God and to find the knowledge. And once you've got the knowledge, which tells you don't feel guilty about what you did, just let it go, drop it, don't do it again, then you're free. But, it's quite a big shift to say, oh, I do the wrong thing. Okay, you pay for it one way or the other, but you don't need to really continue to feel bad about it, because it doesn't really do any good except make you feel bad, which you don't need to do. And when you make yourself feel bad by feeling guilty about something, you're actually losing spiritual power. So Baba says that's counterproductive, isn't it? So don't do that. That's not useful. So whatever you did, don't worry about it. Whatever somebody else did, don't worry about that one either, because he doesn't bother about it. So why do we have to? He's not concerned. Okay, you did this, fine, don't do it again. Simple. Yeah.
Baba says there's benefit in everything. What could be the benefit from, or what could be the benefit in hurting someone knowingly or unknowingly?
Well, you won't do it again. And you know that you did it. Okay, you have to. It's humiliating, and you can't become humble unless you get humiliated. So the benefit is that you don't do that. And sometimes you do something wrong, like jokingly, and you hurt somebody unknowingly, but they will come back at you and let you know that that wasn't okay. So you get the point and don't do it again. But it's all about upgrading your game. You have to realize that you have certain standards when you start this, and then as time goes by, you kind of raise your standards. And what was okay last year is not okay this year. So there is a progression, and that's okay. Once you hurt somebody, well, you will have to pay. And that's that. You pay. And if you don't have any spiritual power, you'll have a hard time paying. But, there's karmic accounts, and there's so many things going on in this drama. And anyway, you survived it and they survived it. So don't worry about it. It's hell. So people do hurt each other in hell. But we get over it, no?
Baba says, Madhyaji Bhava, become the one in the middle. Could you elaborate a bit on that? What do the ornaments mean?
Well, I would not say Madhyaji Bhav means become the one in the middle, because I like better to say perceive this, the result of what you're doing. Because in the trimurti, Baba talked about the trimurti in this Murli. So you are a Brahmin. It means you have to study and practice and live a simple life, and all the various Brahmin practices, non-violence, cultivating virtues, all these things. And also you do meditation. You really practice to be bodiless, to be just the soul, to be completely detached from good and evil. That's part of Shankar, detached from good and evil. And then you arrive at balance. So Vishnu is an androgynous person. You get free from whether you're masculine or feminine and become androgynous. and balanced. The ornaments, the Swadarshana chakra means that you are accepting whatever happened. You did a bad thing or a good thing, accept it. Don't worry about it. Spin the cycle, rotate the cycle. I am the deity and I am the Shudra. This is the cycle. And people don't like that because nobody wants to call themselves a Shudra, and nobody feels they have the right to call themselves a deity. So you can't handle those two extremes, but you have to. You don't mind the Vaishya and the Kshatriya because anyway you're all the time fighting and anyway you're all the time bargaining. So that's okay, but that's not enough. We have to accept the light and the dark in the soul and be okay with it. And when you rotate the cycle, any type of spinning of the cycle, the color you get is white, which is pure. So accepting the light and the dark of yourself is key to purity. If you just want the light and you don't want the dark, you're not understanding the nature of the soul that must pass through the predestined 84 births. It must accept I am the highest and the lowest, and come to terms with that. And that means quit being religious, because religious people always want the highest and they don't like the lowest. All right? So Baba says that will stop you from becoming balanced. Become very unbalanced if you only like to be perfect and you don't accept the imperfections. You only want to be light and you don't want to have the dark. No, you have to have the extreme dark so that you can have the extreme light. Baba said, I'm telling you deep secrets today. These are the secrets. Everything is predestined. All the good, all the bad, all the ugly, all the evil, whatever it is okay. And whatever is the good and the bad and the ugly about yourself, it is okay. This is called self-realization, right? This is the ornament of the spinning cycle. The swastika means that. And then the conch means that you know how to speak the truth. And the truth is usually quite unpleasant, right? The inconvenient truth, the unpalatable truth. And so he wants us to say the truth, but in such a way that it's not too unpalatable. And then the lotus flower, detach from your own good and evil. You see, if we think I have to be perfect, that's attached. If you understand, I pass through all things. Now I am doing that which is putting me in profit. I'm taking power from Baba. I'm rising. This is the time of rising. This is the time of being restored to our original condition. Everything is fine. And the mace, hardly anybody ever talks about the mace. You have a big stick in your hand, big one. And that's for popping Maya on the nose, who's circling around too often, right? And also to pop on the nose any of these waste thoughts that come, because if they're too persistent, you use your mace, and you say, get out of here, you're interfering with my life, out. And you need to be very affirming and strong sometimes. You know, a BK who is just, nicey, goody two shoes, is not going to be very good at riding on lions and, demolishing demons and all the things that the Shiv Shaktis are supposed to do. So you need to also use your mace to get rid of haunting thoughts, persistent negative thoughts, whatever it is, self-doubt and so on. Use your mace and say, out, go away, What? Don't bother me. Can you do that? And then you got a double crown. That means you have a crown of light and a crown of jewels. Lots of gyan circulating in your head, lots of light because you have taken the power from Baba. And Vishnu also has a big garland around his neck. So that's your relationship with lots and lots of BKs who are all different types. Right? So that's Vishnu.
Thank you. Those are the questions for now.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So let us just have a moment with Baba. I don't have all the arrangements for putting music on, but I think we can just silently sit with him, the wonderful him that he is, and all the things he's telling us, which is so different from the ideas that we got from the religions, which made us stuck on being perfect, which is not practical. We have to be balanced and take power from Baba and be detached from all the light and the dark. Om Shanti.